Hi, it's Professor Moylan, and in this micro lecture, we're going to get into running a WebEx meeting as a faculty host. So you've already scheduled your meeting, and so now it is time to start the meeting. So you click on the Start the Meeting button, and you open your Cisco WebEx meeting. And the first thing it will say is, do you have the right microphone and webcam? And so you'll make sure that you've got the right microphone and webcam there. You want to make sure that they're both on, and then you'll click Start Meeting. And then your screen will turn to this, assuming that you've got your webcam turned on. But let's take a look at those buttons down at the bottom. Notice before you start the meeting, you've only got the two buttons there. One is for the microphone, one is for the webcam. And then you start the meeting, and then you've got all those buttons. Let's go through the functionality of those buttons. And let's first run left to right, and then we'll go in order that you might be activating them. So that is the microphone mute, unmute, the video start, stop, share screen, record, participants, chat, options, and end meeting. So again, really quickly, we've got in order left to right, microphone mute, unmute, video start, stop, share screen, record the session, participants, chat, options, and end meeting. Okay, now, the order that you might be dealing with these, I think probably the very, very first thing that you'll do is go into participants. And so what you want to do is, generally, you want to turn that on so you see who the participants are. So you click on that, and notice your screen now, on the right, you've got now an opening that says participants, and nobody else is in there but me. But the nice thing about this is you've got that open, and you can see people as they come in. So that's a nice capability. The next thing that you've got is chat. You do not have to click this to turn it on. It's on. Your participants can chat. When you click this, you see the chat box. And so you may or may not want to do that. I like to see the chat box, but some people don't. They are distracted by it. So either one, but if you click it, then you will see the chat. If you've got both the participants and the chat open, you can drag up and down to see more or less of each of those. With regard to chat, some people don't like the students to be able to chat privately with each other. I don't have a problem with that, but some don't like that. So if that's you, what you need to do is go into your participants' privileges and turn that off. The default is it's on. They can chat with each other, but you can go in there and turn that off. Notice I've got everything. They can do everything. They can privately chat with the host, the presenter, other participants, publicly with everyone, but you've got the option of revoking those privileges, if you want. Okay, record. This records the WebEx session, I should say, and there's some little issues with regard to this. So I'm going to table the issue of recording for a separate session. Although I do want to bring up this point because some people ask this: can record start automatically? The big Zoom versus WebEx debate. I've heard some people say, I prefer Zoom because you can record automatically with Zoom and you can't record automatically with WebEx. Actually, that's not true. It's you personally don't have the ability to turn on that functionality. Your administrator does. So if your site administrator has not accessed that functionality, you can't do it. But we'll talk about the record issues in a separate standalone video. Okay, so you click record, and then it tells you to start. Now that's different than video. Although it sounds kind of like video start stop, it sounds like, hey, I click start and it starts recording. No. In my opinion, this is misnamed. This really should be webcam start stop. Because here's what happens when you do that. Right now, the webcam is on. It started on, and so it's recording me as the host. If I click that and turn it off, it then, takes that away. So again, start, stop, I think is a little bit of a misnomer. But hey, what do I know? Cisco has a market capitalization of $194 billion, and I'm doing how-to videos on how to use WebEx. Okay, microphone mute, unmute. Generally, you're of course going to want this unmuted because you are talking to your students. To mute this, you might want to do that when, say, a student has shared a screen and a student is speaking, and you don't want any noises that might be coming from your work area. But generally, most of the time, you're going to have that microphone unmuted. Share screen. This is what you're going to want to do if you want to let your student or students share their screen. But you also do this for yourself. And here's the thing about yourself. If you know that you're going to share your screen, like maybe you've got a PowerPoint that you're going to play, what you generally want to do is get rid of a lot of stuff that you might have open on your computer, because when you go to share screen, it then looks at all the stuff that you've got open. And if I know that, I want to do a PowerPoint, I don't want to go looking around for the PowerPoint because I got 18 windows open. So, what I tend to do before a WebEx meeting is close all those guys up so that it's kind of easy to find what I'm going to want to be doing. Options. Okay, you got a lot of options here. If you click on options and your options don't look like this, that's because you are in the desktop app. There are two versions of WebEx. There's browser and desktop app. If you're in the desktop app, it looks like that. And if you want to switch back and forth, you can click on that, switch to desktop app. It's going to start by default. Now, my default is use desktop app, but I switched over to the web app to make this point here. But, whichever one you prefer. But there's an issue with regard to that. Notice up there, I've got those file, edit, share, view, audio participants. Okay, that is the desktop app version. Participant settings. I'm in the browser version, so I can mute them on entry here or hear the entry and exit tone. And I generally think it's a good idea to leave both of those on. If you're in the desktop app, you've got to go up to the participant to access that. We'll see that in a minute. Health checker. The only thing I do with this one is if I'm not sure about the speed of my connection, I'll go in and look at this. So health checker network connection is a good thing to do. Audio connection, just you want to make sure that you've got the right audio on there. Speaker, microphone, camera. And then, of course, as I said, switch to desktop app. And notice that I don't have any of that window, edit up there. That's in the browser, that's in the desktop app. I said we'd come back to this issue of participants. Click on participants. Let me blow that up for you. Here's where you can mute on entry and exit tone. Anyone can share. You can set those parameters there. End meeting. When you're all done and students have had enough, it's time to end meeting. And so you click on that and you end meeting and you are done. And we are done.